Okay, so you've been dieting for 15 years. You went to college. You partied like a mad woman. I'm making an assumption about that, right? Am I right?
Yes,
Okay,
that's correct.
you had a good time and you don't regret it. However,
No,
you started
not at
gaining
all.
weight and you've been dieting the last 15 years.
Yes.
How has your sense of worthiness been the last 15 years? Like how do you feel your sense of worth has been affected by the
Well, it's up
dieting?
and down. Um,
I'm talking
it's
about
up and down depending. Just
okay, so that's not true worthiness. If it's going up and down depending on something outside of you, is that true self-worth?
no.
Okay, good. I just want you to be able to see that. That isn't true self-worth. That's worth depending on what? What was your worth dependent on?
Well, it could be anything from body image to a job to, um, your social life, family. It all just kind of depends. But I'd have to say body image is a pretty big issue
Is that the
when it
one you
comes
think
to
about the
work,
most on a
being
daily
active,
basis?
all of it. Say that again?
Is body image the one focus you have every day?
Yes,
And it affects you pretty much
without
every
a
single
question.
day, and it has affected you every day since the day you started dieting.
Yes.
And has it improved? I mean, has your body image improved
No,
the more you've been dieting? What has happened to the sense of worthiness surrounded your body image over the last 15 years?
it hasn't improved.
Would you
I
say
mean,
it's
even if I
worse?
do lose weight, uh, yeah, I'd probably, the older I get, yes.
And, do you feel that maybe the times that you've successfully lost weight has added to your sense of lacking worth as you gain it back?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So each time you lose weight and then gain it
Second
back, you
there.
end up worse off than you were before you lost the weight.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I
You
just
fail,
want to reach
you
over
feel
there
guilty.
and just freaking shake and hug you at the same time. Just like slap you in the face and there's like this there's this maternal like I want to slap you and I want to hug you and I just want to be like, "Oh my God, what have you done with the 15 years?" Here's the really neat
Yeah.
part about this. If you can pull yourself out of it and see this for what it is, you'll never go back. And you'll feel so free. You'll feel like you were in jail for 15 years and held back for 15 years. And you're about to just feel so liberated if you can just let that go.
Mm-hmm.
How does that How would that affect your life from this moment moving forward? If you could leave that belief system and leave that desperation.
Probably just the positivity in your daily life in general.
You think it
So
would
just
be a
being
positive
positive.
influence for
Oh,
you?
you cut out again. I'm sorry.
Would that be positively influencing your life? Do you see that as something that might be worth the risk of it? The worth of is leaving the diet industry worth feeling valuable?
Yes.
Yeah. Remember we were just talking and I said, the extremism that you've been living between I'm going to go on a diet and then so I'm going to go ahead and eat, I'm going to hoard and I'm going to get as much as I can. You said the last 3 days you have been just going crazy, right? In preparation for this protocol.
Right.
And you're not on the protocol. So this isn't part of the protocol. This is you just getting wasted on food before and you've been doing this for 15 years, the same cycle, right? Eating
Yes.
excessively, eating more than you really want, eating everything that you know you're not going to get to eat because you think that this will be the last time I do it.
Yes.
Okay. Now, I had also said, that that is a sign of how desperate you are, right? And that desperation that's backing the diet is usually equal to how strict the diet is. So if you're really desperate to lose weight, your diet's going to be very strict. That would make something like this protocol really attractive because it's very strict and it's got these immediate results, right? So we kind of talked about, how that desperation affects your dieting, which ultimately sets you up, right, for very little wiggle room. And we had talked about how, what is that desperation coming from? Do you remember what I said it came from?
From all the diets that I've been on and how.
Yeah, why are you so desperate? What are you seeking? Remember the door? I said there's a door frame.
Oh yeah. There's a door frame, yeah.
There's a door frame, and your body is the door. And when you open the door, the key is getting the right body shape to fit the door frame so that you can go into feeling worthy, feeling lovable, feeling like you've earned the ability to live again, that you have this freedom again. You have decided that your body has to match this tiny door frame to get into those feelings. And if you are feeling deprived of worthiness, love, excitement, liberation, freedom to live, freedom to enjoy life, if you have all of these layers of feelings that are keeping you, or you feel void of, and you are blaming your body for voiding you of that, you're going to be really desperate. Right? Your desperation is matching how worthless you feel.
Yes.
And that desperation is why you gravitate to the extreme rules of dieting, because you're that desperate. And ultimately, those extreme rules that you have around dieting are not realistic for the real world that you live in. But you don't recognize that because you're so desperate. You're desperate enough that you think that you can be able to do this the rest of your life because you need to feel good that badly. That you need it that much, right? So because of that, there's very little wiggle room in the way you're dieting. Your diet but then is so strict because you're so desperate. It's kind of extreme, right? So you have this extreme feeling of deprivation of love and life and excitement and exhilaration. So you have this extreme need to look the part because you think it's your body that is holding you back. So you gravitate to extreme diets, and because of the desperation, you don't allow any grace or wiggle room. So as soon as life gives you a little bit of a shake and you slightly go off of your extreme diet plan that you don't give yourself grace for, you feel like what? Like a total failure. You feel like shit. Yeah. And it's like you almost feel like this isn't even worth it. I can't even do this. So I might as well do what?
Binge eat.
Yeah. That's what it is. And you take it so personal, like you failed, right? Well, what's the failure? Is it you, or is it this lack of leniency in the way you're approaching this? Because you're so desperate. So we can backtrack this. We can say, hey, we need you to be a little bit more lenient with your diet, right? Whatever it is. It needs to be more lenient. But then you're going to go, but I'm really desperate. I really need to have that weight loss. So if I don't have this strict rule, I'm not going to get the weight loss I need to feel good about myself, right? The weight loss isn't going to happen fast enough. Does that make sense?
Right.
Then you'll be, the next step would be to say, okay, well, lower your standards for how much weight you need to lose, right? So where does that leave you now? It's like, well, then I feel like crap about myself. Then why,
Mm-hmm.
so what we're going to have to do is, for this to work, we can't work backwards. We can't go from lenient diet to lowering your standards with weight. It won't work because the foundation of why you're doing what you're doing and why you're so desperate is this intense feeling of inadequacy and failure. An intense sense of deprivation of happiness and life and excitement and vigor, right? What we're going to have to do is we're going to have to start with the foundation. And I need you to start questioning what life is really about. And if you would want to raise your children, because you're trying to get pregnant, would you want to raise your children with the same door block to happiness? With that same roadblock, right? Body image.
Yeah.
Because for you, you feel like it's a bane. It is like a lifelong issue. It is like, right? It's holding you back from how much stuff. Enough that you think about it on a daily basis.
I do. So, yes.
Does this even seem realistic for you to view it this way? Does it even seem possible?
I'm about 50-50.
Okay. Hey, that's pretty good.
I know it's the first time
That's
I've
pretty
ever
good. That means you're just as
thought about
desperate,
it.
just as desperate to get out of the crazy. That's pretty good. Yeah, I think
First time ever thinking about it this way, so.
well, yeah, and most people who come in to the office, I mean, this is the first time you and I have talked. Have you ever heard this before?
No.
So it's fresh and it's new. Can you tell that this is potentially a way out?
Yes.
Okay. Your desperation is what's fighting it because it's very moderate.
Yes.
It's like, whoa, this isn't enough for me. However, question, you've been binging the last 3 days,
That's not working either.
Yeah. I would say it's really kind of not working in the negative way. It's not even like maintenance way. It's let's gain more weight.
Right.
And more illness and more disease and more like furthering you from being able to bear children. That's how that's working for you.
Right.
So where's the risk in what I'm saying? Let's try to like not be so desperate and see what happens. Because what's happening with your desperation over the last 15 years is you've gotten fatter and fatter, and now you are having a hard time having children, and you're desperate for children.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of a big deal. I mean, if you want to have children, that's an amazing thing that you should have the experience of. And if what you're doing is keeping you from that, you need to seriously question what you're doing. Not the outcome of obesity. The outcome of obesity, wouldn't you agree, is a consequence of binging like you have the last 3 days.
Yes.
So if your desperation to lose weight is creating this extremism with dieting, which is ultimately why you're binging, does it make sense to go back into something extreme and desperate with trying to lose weight?
No.
It's like, dude, you're shooting yourself in the foot and then complaining about not being able to walk.
Right.
So we want you to, because the protocol is a protocol, whether you're using it to enable this psychological issue or you use it to heal the psychological issue, the protocol is the same. Your weight loss is going to be identical. It doesn't even matter. So can we use it for the idea? Can we use it with the context and the belief that you don't want to be so desperate? Which means you're going to use this protocol to love yourself, to really love your body as it is today, and to heal the relationship between you and your body that has been so dysfunctional and hateful and mean, really. I mean, would you treat any other human being? Would you take a child of yours and say, you need to binge for 3 days before I'm going to starve you because you're fat?
No.
Why? Why wouldn't you do that?
That's extreme. It's horrible.
It's horrible. Wouldn't you agree that that was abusive? If you knew a mother who did that to her child, don't you think her child should be taken away? Because she's causing psychological issues. She's actually abusing another human being. Her child. Okay, well, that's you and your body. I mean, consider this is the only body you have for this life, and this is the body you're asking to have a child and to create a child. And this is how you're treating it. Have you ever considered that you might want to heal your relationship with it in a loving way, in an unconditional way?
Yes.
Because it's about to create a miracle for you if you allow it. You're not allowing it. You're killing it. Do you think in any way that that might be why your body's manifesting in this issue? There's any link to your behavior with food and dieting to why you have this issue?
Yes.
Okay. I would agree. So I think that it's probably protecting itself.
Probably.
Because under the environment that you are under all of this binging, do you think it would be healthy for a baby in utero?
No.
Okay. Is this helping you? Like really, you might want to love your body, because if you started to love it in the state it's in now, what do you think will happen to its ability to bear a child? At least the chances will go up. Right. Don't you think if you start to love it and you start living in this moderate zone instead of the extremes that work together, like salt and pepper, you get out of that and you start living in this center and you have this gratitude and this love for the body, no matter what it looks like. You got to get rid of that cult belief in perfection with it, right? You got to change the door frame that I told you about. You're going to have to rip the door frame off and say, you know what? I'm going and grabbing what's on the other side because it is my right as a human being to love myself and to feel my life is worthy and to feel that I have the freedom to express it. Do you have to earn that?
No.
Well,
I have to learn it, but not earn it.
No, you don't. You just go get it. Every child, every person should feel worthy of living. The fact that you're here means you are worthy of life and you're here. Why would you hold your back to living it based on some concept of consumer ideology? The right job, the right shoes, the right house, the right clothes, the right body. I'm on a pulpit. It just is like rips my heart out but you just need to know you are pretty much everybody I talk to. Everybody. And what am I trying to convince you? I'm trying to convince you to really like yourself. And it's like, I have to convince you to look at yourself and decide that you are worthy of loving your body at any size.
Yeah.
When you look at other people who are also similar to your size, do you look at them and wish that they loved themselves? Do you have any friends that are of equal size to you or that are bigger than you, that you just want them to know how amazing they are, that how valuable they are and how special and unique they are?
I would hope, yes, I would. I definitely want them to know that.
So would you say that's a true personality, or not personality? Is that a real belief that you have? That's yours?
Yes.
Okay.
Of other people, but of myself, I have to work on that.
Okay, but you just told me that you want other people to look at themselves and to love themselves and to appreciate their quality and their truth, yes. Right? Okay, but you don't think that you should be able to do that. But yet you want other people to be able to do that. Do you see how it's like really conflicting that you are that person that I'm trying to convince? You're that to me. I'm looking at you going, I really want you to feel this way. And then you look at other people and you want them to feel that way. The difference is that I really think I'm awesome. I'm pretty badass, whether I'm skinny or fat. I'm creative. I'm passionate. Those qualities that I think are really valuable to humanity, I will share them whether I am 200 pounds or I'm 150 pounds. This is really the truth of me. And no one can take from that and no one can give to it. It's just me, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the difference. I actually live it. That's how I'm so easily can convince you of it, because I know what it takes. How are you to feel that way about someone and to want that about other people? If you can't do it for yourself, how are you going to help someone else to do that? But you don't know how to do it. So you may say, oh, I wish people could do that, but you don't really have a tangible sense of what it feels like for someone to ignore those consumer ideologies that we live in and are bombarded in, okay? To actually recreate a sense of worth from, humanity, from your sense of humanness that are real. They're truthful. They're real. They're not fake. What company can give you empathy and nurture? Can you buy nurturing quality? You can't. They can't it's not a commodity. Shit. What are we going to do? Why don't you and I try to create a business that will sell integrity? That's a human quality that we put down because we think we need to have a better body. You can sell the concept of perfect body. It's done all the time. What they do is they create a perfect body. They airbrush it. They get people who are obsessive compulsive about keeping a body, that are willing to take pictures of themselves, and they sell you the perfect body. But where is anybody selling the quality of love and unconditional acceptance and giving? You're going to have to do that for yourself because it's yours, and you need to get in touch with what your qualities are. What makes you really valuable in terms of those human qualities that aren't sold and that aren't commodities.
Right.
If you use those qualities as to establish your sense of worth, can you walk through the door into enlightenment and happiness and excitement right now?
No, probably not.
Why? Because you don't think you have those qualities? If you use the qualities you have and you decided, wow, those are really important qualities that make me extremely valuable to humanity, and I'm going to use those as to establish my sense of worthiness to live and be happy. Could you be there immediately? Right now, instantaneous, if you choose to. If you choose to use those qualities.
Choose to, yeah.
Okay, so why wouldn't you choose those qualities? What's wrong with those qualities that make them... Pardon?
Confidence.
Well, yeah, you have to kind of know they're there and use them as a sense of confidence with humanity, with your co-humans, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you use those qualities within yourself, what happens to your own confidence? To believe that that's really what's important here. We don't have to go buy quality for ourselves. We don't have to earn quality as a human. We have human qualities that are not commodity. They're here. They exist. And those should be the most important things that we establish in humanity. And when you have children, that those are the most important qualities you want them to be in touch and stay in touch with. Right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
I wish I had you in front of me when you were 20, before you started dieting. Because honestly, you would have easily lost that body fat you gained from all that partying if you just started eating back like you used to and sleeping like you used to and going back to your organs Don't you agree?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're 35. It's never too late. This is like you're still young. I'm 36. I'm like graduate of 1995, right? You're not we're the same age, honey, pretty much. We have a lot to give to this country and to humanity. How much of our country is being run by assholes who want to commoditize happiness for money? Don't you think it's time that the next generation kind of ends this bullshit?
Yes.
All right. So is there harm in you deciding that during this process, it's really important that you let your body heal on its own and you focus all of your energy towards developing a sense of worth that is established on true human qualities that you already have?
I'm ready. Yes, it can happen.
Yeah, immediately. Like that's an important thing. And if you improve your sense of worthiness, your sense of life and excitement for life and vigor for life right now is going to expand. And is there anything that can diminish that expansion or pull it back in? Is there anything that can take that away from you? No, because they're qualities you already have.
Right.
Are you excited?
I am.
Yeah, what's the risk, right? What do you have to lose right now? Because you've been binging the last 3 days, so it's like you have that to lose.
Yes.
I think it's worth it. You just have to, I think this will help solve that sense of desperation that is creating this drive that is so awful. So, yeah, we got to get rid of the desperation. Everything else will line up with it. You won't be so desperate with the diet. You'll be more lenient with yourself, more graceful, more forgiving, more loving with yourself, more loving with your body. You won't be outcome oriented with the body, which is really, really, really abusive to the body. And I think this is going to be really important for you. Just for you, not for your body, for you as a person. If your mom was here, what would she be thinking right now?
She'd be excited to...
Do you think she's like... do you think that she would feel... Because, when she looks at you, what do you think she sees?
Oh, just a loving, caring...
Do you think she sees the qualities in you that you've ignored? It's kind of hard. You don't have children yet. When you have children, you would get this very quickly. Isn't that right, moms? You would be like, oh my God. She would just be like, this is so important. This is so important. It is desperate importance. It is equally desperate.
I agree.
Okay, good. Wow, I felt that one. That was big. That was a big deal. I'm gonna start crying. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I have 3 children of my own. And I think for you, this is a very important part of your family. And when you have that baby, whether you adopt a baby or you have a baby, you will remember this moment and you're going to go, holy shit, she was right. How do I get this child to see how amazing it is? Like, whoa, power. How do I get this baby to keep in touch with how beautiful its heart is? And you're going to be so desperate for it to ignore this consumer ideology around you suck and you have to pay to feel good about yourself. So I need you to release yourself from the shackles of that idea so that you can relax, that you can focus inward. And do you trust your body to heal? If you get out of the way and stop binging for 3 days straight, do you feel that it would be able to take care of itself?
Yes.
Okay, let it go. Let it just be alone. And you need to spend some time with your quality. And you need to identify it and you need to breathe in it. And I think you need to reassociate yourself to it and then move from there, okay? All this protocol is going to do is heal the brain, heal some of the habits that you've had, that you've developed over years. But you know what? If you continue to have a desperate need for the body to fix your issues emotionally, it won't work out. So it's really important we dissolve that neediness, dissolve that desperation before you start. Okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Thank you for
Yep.
for this.